Hi, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Mcmirror Life. I'm Shane Perry, and tonight we're very privileged to have with us a few celebrities and fellow brand ambassadors from around the world. We have with us Felix from Germany.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
And Astrid Holtenberg from Sweden.
Hi.
Hello. And of course, Matt Davey from the UK.
Hi guys.
Matt. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. Can I say to everybody, please fire in some questions. We're going to be live. We're going to be talking generally about what's happening in the markets, what's happening in the different areas around the world. Ask us questions and we'll try and answer them as we go along. Otherwise, we have Carl and Connor at the back, and they're always able to help us. We're going to do things a little differently tonight, guys. We're just basically going to just talk, have a general chat about what's happening in the world and what brand ambassadors do on a day-to-day basis. And I think it should be quite interesting, particularly from what Matt does in the UK versus what Felix and Astrid do in Sweden and Germany. So I think we should start. Felix, could I ask you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and where you're from?
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you, Shane, for the invite. I'm Felix. I'm from Germany. I'm 29 years old. I'm a brand ambassador for, at the moment, more or less completely Germany. If we have fairs and tastings, what unfortunately at the moment got all cancelled again. So yeah, but Felix, I think later on the show.
How did you go? How did you come into whiskey? How did you get involved with whiskey and Mackmyra?
Over a friend. It was right now 4 years ago. I came to the whiskey, and luckily it was also the first whiskey of mine was a Mcmirror. It was the Winterrök.
Okay.
Old one of my, still have a bottle of it closed.
Do you know you have a bottle that none of us have on the screen here. It's before my time, and I think I'm after you. I'm the next oldest on in terms of the team in Mcmirror. So we'll take your word for it. But what a good friend to have! Someone who introduces you to Mcmirror as your first whiskey. I mean, you can't get better friends than that, Felix.
No, and 1 year later we start working for Mcmirror. So yeah, it's pretty amazing, and I love it.
That's fantastic. But you're not just a brand ambassador, you're also a mechanical engineer, or?
Yeah, I'm a technical engineer.
Technical engineer. So this is more passion for you than it is a career.
Yes, it is. It's just passion for me, and all brand ambassadors in Germany is all passion, and we do it besides our main job. And yeah, I mean, it's amazing. We had so many amazing times during fairs, whiskey tastings. Even we have every year a meetup, get together with the whole team in Germany, and yeah, it's just amazing to have such a great team, and it's always fun to do that.
Yeah, and you've got quite a big team in Germany. I mean, it's been around, one of the biggest offices after Sweden, and you've got a big team of brand ambassadors, haven't you? There's a lot of you.
Yeah. I think it's after Sweden, the biggest, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a big office.
We have at the moment,
I think you've got there's almost 20 of you, isn't there?
What?
20 in total in terms of the whole office with Gabby.
Yeah, and I think about 20, about that.
That's a big office in Germany, and you look after a big country. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, at the moment, totally closed.
You'll be surprised when I tell you how many people we've got in the UK, but I'll get to that in a minute. Astrid, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. The only girl on the show. It's so nice to have a girl on the show. So we leave you to last because the best is for last, they say. But tell us a little bit about you and where you're from.
Yeah, I'm based in Stockholm. So I'm an area sales manager here for east of Sweden. So we are 4 area sales manager in Sweden. So so it's Stockholm and the cities around. Around Stockholm.
So you divide Sweden into sort of 4 areas, and each one looks after a patch, an area. Okay.
Exactly.
And how many brand ambassadors do you have working for you?
I have 2 at the moment.
Okay.
Not more than that.
Will you work out of the office in Stockholm, or are you also COVID bound and working from home?
Both. And I only live like 1.5 hours from Gävle, so I work from there as well.
Okay. Wow. And how did you get into it? How did you get to work for Mcmirror?
I have worked with events and sales for restaurants and hotels all my life. So that was like how I started at Mackmyra. And I always had a passion for whiskey. So yeah.
It's interesting, you girls are are a much smaller portion to the whiskey families to say, and it's so nice to hear people say, particularly girls, love whiskey.
Yeah.
Welcome, and you're new to the family, aren't you? You've only just joined us. It's been quite recent.
Yeah, I started in January this year. So
this year.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah.
And guys, this is Matthew. Matthew was the UK brand ambassador for a long time. He's only one in the UK. Welcome, Matt. Tell us a bit about you.
Well, hi, Shane. I'm Matt Davey, and I'm 38 years old, and I'm a brand ambassador here in London, UK, and been with the company for just over a year and a half now.
And what got you into this, Matt? What was your draw card about?
My draw card. Shall we get into this? My draw card is I met a friend about 10 years ago who I used to work with, funny enough, in South Africa for a health and safety company. He was a sales manager and I was a sales and marketing executive. And lo and behold, when I moved to England about 3 years ago, he asked me if I wouldn't mind coming to join him at a whiskey place to be selling a great Swedish whiskey company. I'm like, Swedish make whiskey, so I'm quite interested. And hey presto, here I am working. The culprit is Shane Perry. So I've known Shane for about 10 years, and he's the guy who got me into Mcmirror, and I've been here ever since. But whiskey-wise, I think my first memory for whiskey, I think when a proper whiskey was a Bushmills, and about the age of 23, I think I had it with my dad on one of our holidays in South Africa. So that's me in a nutshell, I guess. But now, as you know, I've moved over now to the online side, so I'm no longer working with Shane as a brand ambassador. So I'm more of a sales coordinator, logistics coordinator with the guys here. And that's basically what I do. So helping John Burbeck, who's based in Italy, run the online store here in the UK and Europe.
So what happened was John was my brand ambassador when I joined my Mcmirror 2.5 years ago, and then John was moved into the online web shop, which you guys probably are aware of as well, that we run, and John runs that. And then Matt joined me, who I knew Matt from South Africa because we used to work together in the same company in South Africa. And then John took Matt away from me, so I had to start the process again. So I constantly feel like I'm training people up in my team to go off and do something else in Mcmirror. So,
Shane, hide the next brand ambassador from
John.
Yeah.
Best thing.
Just say I don't have any new one. I don't have any new brand ambassador.
That's a good idea, Felix. When they ask me, just go, no, it's just me. So you joke. So it is just me essentially at the moment, and we have this team of brand ambassadors now that have joined us this year, as much like you have, Astrid, have joined us this year. So they joined just before COVID, and they got introductory to 1 or 2 whiskey festivals, and then suddenly they became Armchairs brand ambassadors. And here's one here, Richard. Are Sweden generally doing many virtual tastings? We'll come on to that, Richard. So they joined me, and then suddenly they were thrust into this online world, much like we have been, to become online ambassadors. So it's been quite interesting. So there's a whole team of brand ambassadors. I think there's about 6 of us now, and running the whole of the UK. So it's a small team, but we get to do everything together. And of course, Matt and John running the online website for us. But anyway, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting thirsty. I think what we should do is maybe pour a whiskey. Matt, I'd like you to introduce one because you were going to start with yours. We thought yours would be a nice one to start with. If you can introduce it, and we'll share it with you, and then we'll just talk about what's going on in the UK.
Perfect, guys. Well, so we were told and asked to just obviously choose some of our best drams and whiskies, and I've gone for one that I fell in love with when I first started, which is Winter Sol, Mini Winter Sun. Really great taste. It's a port cast finish that we've done with Quintus called Dilavado, and this Quintus has been around for about 200 years, based in the Douro Valley in North Portugal. A really nice collaboration. It's a great smooth 10-year-old. Reason why I liked it, when I first had it, it just reminded me so much of like when I started, was more leaning into the winter, and it's possibly the best dram I've ever sold. But I just enjoy it purely because of the spiciness, and it's got a nice warm feeling for this time of year. But I just enjoy it almost every time that I have it. So it's probably my favorite Mackmyra whiskey that sticks out of all of them.
Thank you, Matt. Guys, I hope you're joining us.
Oof.
I love it.
I really hope.
You know the problem is with Angela, and I don't know if you have the same problem, Felix and Astrid, is she brings out a new seasonal and I go, wow, I love this. And then she brings out another one and you go, I love this. And then it's a moment and you go, oh, I love this. Yeah. That's the problem with Angela.
Definitely.
So, Felix, in Germany, does Jacht also mean hunt?
Yeah.
Now, in South Africa, in Afrikaans, Jacht means hunt as well. So, Afrikaans is kitchen Dutch, essentially. So, Jachtliker to Germans, to Swedes, and to the Dutch is an easy thing to say. Try and get an English person to say it. Not so easy.
I mean, we write it differently in Germany, but it has the same meaning.
Yeah, same in Dutch. Yeah, it's exceptionally. So, Matt, I thought what we could do while we're enjoying this dram is just tell us about what it is in the UK you kind of did on a day-to-day basis and how your role changed, and how you moved from where you were doing what you were doing on a daily basis to the online side, and then where you are now.
All right. Well, guys, I mean, the whole of last year and stuff, and we had a really great time. Was getting out to festivals and stuff, and we had this one car called the Whiskey Affair, which I really enjoyed. Myself and Shane went to a lot of these. I think Gareth, who is on board, I met Gareth and Richard at one of them. Richard particularly was in Reading, and we got him involved at a later stage. But this is probably one of the best interactions that we've had, festival-wise. So really great to see the crowds, that everyone gets involved. Nice to just do the brand ambassador thing that we're all missing right now. It's just being in front of people and giving good quality whiskey, and just having an interaction, a chat about the distillery. And it's something I really dearly miss. Including that, I used to obviously go and do tastings at some of the exclusive whiskey shops like Mcmirror's itself, Caden's Head as well. And that's inside Mcmirror's, which is always a great time. The last time I think I did a tasting was with Shane in Mcmirror's, if I'm not mistaken. And Mcmirror's at the bottom have a great cocktail place at the bottom. It's one of these little speak-easy cocktails that they do. So if you guys are ever in Soho, just go take a look at those guys. Really good place to go to. And then Caden's Head, awesome. I think we were there for Christmas, if I remember correctly, Shane. I think we did a Christmas thing. They had a Christmas festival. So we were there for their Christmas festival last year, and again, just really nice to get in front of crowds and just talk about whiskey and talk about our distillery, and and the Royal Mile whiskies. How can I forget? So these are some of the guys that do stock us, and they always cater us to come and do live tastings with their clientele, and it's just really I miss it. I won't lie. It's something that I missed going into lockdown. But in saying so, going into lockdown, obviously with that being taken away from us and lockdown measures being put into place, we decided to do something different, and the online shows was the next best thing. And from that, it's just kind of developed with giving the core tasting pack and being able to sell that in conjunction with having a live show for the guys to do a live tasting. I think worked really well. And for us in the UK, it's definitely opened up a different type of market for us, one we didn't explore previously. So hopefully, once lockdown measures do dampen down, we were able to do live events and this in conjunction and actually have a really nice kind of set format to get our whiskey out to everybody involved in the UK. and maybe some art shows at the venues.
So your role kind of it morphed in the year and a half you were with me. We went from calling stores, like Roy's and Cadenheads, and selling stock and doing promotions and festivals, to a sudden turnaround overnight where we kind of moved that whole tasting thing into an online show, and your world changed from being, sort of at the front end of dishing out whiskey to being the front end of a camera trying to sell whiskey over line. And then you went on in, you took it another step further and went across and joined John's team, and you focus purely on logistics on the online side now. So your growth is quite big.
It's been exponential. I will admit. I mean, and it's been I suppose lucky for me, just being in the right place and just working really hard through it and just like trying to make a success for the company. But it's been a really exceptional growth for my career with Mackmyra. So it's a great company to be with, and I'm really grateful to have the opportunities that they've given me. So I'm down. I'm here. So really, really happy. It's a great crowd of people to work for. I get to meet everybody around the world, like you guys from Sweden and Germany who I've never met. So I'm happy to be here and just to interact with everybody online and just be here. As I said, great whiskey, good times with friends, and that's all I can actually say.
Mickey's come up. This is another one of our brand ambassador guys. You're going to see a lot of these guys. They're very interested to see what Felix and Astrid do very different to us. And here's a question from Mickey saying, what do you think the most interesting part of the Mcmirror process is? I think he's referring to, in terms of a brand ambassador, what's the most important part for you, Matt? Is it selling? Is it finding new customers? Is it just interaction?
I think for me, it's mainly the surprise that when you actually talk to somebody about Swedish whiskey, it's, first of all, especially in the UK market, it was a very fresh kind of concept about a year and a half ago. People have heard of that kind of thing, but have never experienced Swedish whiskey. The moment you get a dram of Swedish whiskey, especially Mackmyra, in front of them, minds change automatically. And just seeing that complete mindset change completely from going, okay, Swedish whiskey, I don't know so much about, like, isn't like here kind of concept. No, it's not. And most of the time, people walk away from us actually really surprised and pleasantly pleased. And it's that kind of process to see people change their perception, which actually made me more keen to sell whiskey and get into people and actually get out there and market the brand.
So it's that interaction with people and teaching them about.
It's an interaction. Yeah.
For you,
for me, it's also the interacting with new customers or the old customers. They're also fans of Mcmirror, to show them what is Sweden capable of and what great whiskey we can produce. And it's amazing that always mind blown away from different casts, new inventions, like the first AI whiskey, what we did. Then the first whiskey was like behind me, the Grunte with green tea cars and that stuff. And so innovative. And I would say we're the most innovative whiskey company on the market at the moment, and not sticking to rules. We have the Scottish producement, but always a Swedish type of experience, and so that's always amazing.
So the interaction and showing people about what Sweden's all about. Yeah, Astrid, for you it's different because you are in Sweden, and people, do they drink?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yes, they do. Yeah, they drink Mackmyra, and we have really good fans. So they have all of the products. But sorry.
What do you enjoy? What is the most? What is it for you?
I love the customer experience. I work a lot with selling cask, and then you have the customer for all of the years that they have the cask. So we are doing cask tastings, so they see how their cask, how do you say, like aging?
Yeah. And so they.
Yeah, and we do. Yeah, and we do cask trips. So last weekend we were away with some cask owners to west of Sweden's archipelago. So we do a lot of things with the cask owners. So it's much more than just whiskey to experience.
people who don't know the archipelagos, it's a lot of islands, isn't it, off the coast of Sweden?
Yeah.
And people own houses, and they go and all have boats, and everyone sort of visits everybody. And you went lobster fishing, I believe.
Yeah, we did.
I want to do that.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, you have to.
I wouldn't mind.
Put our names down for next year.
Yeah, I fixed.
So Felix, you've seen what the UK is like. We have small shops. We have it's not a lot of space. I've seen some of your stores in Germany, and you go from having the tobacco shops to having these big stores, and you have displays, cut box displays. Tell us a little bit about Germany's retail market.
I mean, we're mainly focusing also on the whiskey shops or tobacco shops. They are both most the same. Also, I think they're quite similar size than in the UK. So we need in Germany also the information about what is Swedish whiskey, how it's going to be produced. They need to taste it. So we can't go with the core or only the core ranges in the supermarket, available in some supermarkets, but not all of it. But the rest is just available for in whiskey shops or tobacco shops or specialized shops on whiskey. That's how it's in Germany.
Before we get on to the next whiskey, your role within the German market, what do you do? Is it a case of you go look for business, or is it a case of you do a follow-up to someone like Bjorn, who's an area sales manager, and you go in and do the tasting after them, or how does it work?
I'm just a follow-up after the area sales manager. Next to mine is our old area sales manager. It's Jens. I mainly do tasting and fairs. Like this on a tram, it was funny, great experience, and just that's my job. I don't acquire new businesses. It's the area sales manager who does that.
Okay.
I'm just doing some event stuff, tastings, fairs, and small fairs, tastings, all that.
Okay. Can I ask you if you could, that's a really nice display stand, if you could bring us into your favorite whiskey and why you've chosen this tonight? Because I think it's a lot of whiskey.
I chose the Winterglöd. I hope I pronounce it right.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
With the Swedish mule wine. At the moment, for me, it's just like the perfect time for this whiskey again, because it's for me just mainly a whiskey for cold days because of the mule wine. I love the finish. I love the first mule wine finish we did. The winters. What was it? Winter.
Wasn't it Winter Som or?
No, not Winter.
Winter Drom?
Midnight Soul.
No, Winter Drom was the rum cask.
Okay.
Yeah. So I loved that, and I was hoping to get a newer one of that. And then last year, the Winterglöd, 2 years ago, the Winterglöd came, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy about it. I'm so pumped. And I tried it, and I was like, nah, I love it. And it's one of the innovative cast finish it's so different, and it tastes like the mule wine, and I love the taste. I just imagine, I think Shane has a picture of it where we have good bastors during the winter time.
Nice.
And just imagine the heavy winter, a lot of snow, you're sitting in front of a fire and you have the whiskey in the hand and just drinking it. It was like, okay, that's amazing. I love it. Yeah, that's why it's.
I'm going to ask Connor if he can find that picture for us. If Connor or Carl can put the picture up of Gus Bastov. with the snow, just to show you what it looks like in winter. There it is. There. Thank you.
There it is.
That's your office in Germany. Am I not correct?
Yeah, that's right. It's our office.
You also have there's Magnus. There it is in summer. It's the same place in summer now.
Right.
And
it's the same place.
And you have an office there. You have a shop there as well, don't you? And a storage for casks.
Yeah, it's, I think, the first and only at the moment outside of Sweden cask storage.
That's right. You're absolutely.
It's pretty amazing there. We have only for just 30-liter casks of German customers.
What's happening here?
Yeah, what's going on here?
I think it's the owner of the Good Bust horse on the horses.
Oh wow!
Do you know? I got drunk with him.
Oh really? You did?
Yeah. I came over for training, and Matt. I refer to the Germans as mad because they're just like the South Africans, and they're a great bunch of guys. And we sat. There's a restaurant at Ghostbusters as well, and we had dinner there. And the owner of Ghost came in, and he started buying us grappa.
Yeah.
And grappa, and we had to down it, and we drank a lot.
Oh, okay.
How was the headache the next day?
Pardon?
We met in.
How was the headache the next day, Shane? Was it okay?
Wasn't good.
Why
You're gonna
grappa?
That's what I want to know.
I think Shane, we met there when you were in Germany too. I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago, we met there.
Yeah.
Was it that night that you were drinking with him?
I'm not sure if it was that night or the night before, because we all went back to your office and we started smoking cigars and drinking whiskey and listening to music in someone's car. I remember that.
Yeah, it was Andreas' car. We just opened the doors and just playing music and drinking whiskey. And was funny.
It was great fun. It was really. It was mine being home. It was lovely. And mad times.
Shano, listen, before you start, guys, we will answer some of the questions closest to the end. So any questions being left in the comments, we'll just chat about that later. We're just going to get on with Astrid. Sorry, Connor just asked me just to let the guys know that we'll answer some questions later.
Okay. And,
all right.
And so your world has changed now, Felix. You've now selling casks.
Also, yes.
And there seems to be a bit of a demand for it.
Again, sorry.
There seems to be a bit of a demand. People are starting to buy casks now in Germany, which is something new.
They did it before, but during Corona, the cask sales starts rising in Germany. I don't know why, but it's good for us. And we have some amazing finishes like the Portwin, Fass, Jagdwin, and the cognac.
Yeah.
A lot of cognac casks were sold in Germany, and yeah.
That must be good. Well, like, did you have any other cognac casks? What was that like? Was it good? Because I never had any of that yet.
Have you tried Appleton?
Yeah. I love
that is cognac. Yeah.
Oh, is that the cognac? Same as that? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, I can tell you in probably 1.5 years when I start filling my cognac fast. And get it off taste.
I see.
Good answer, Felix. So
I will save one for you guys.
Thank you.
One day when I'm big like you, Felix, I will hopefully have a cask of my own.
Yeah.
It's
perfect.
I have at the moment 3.
What? Okay, no, I'm just getting cask envy. It's fine. It's fine.
That's wonderful, Felix. So Germany's gone into lockdown again, and now you're selling casks as opposed to selling bottles. So you're having tastings, and they're revolving around cask sales now.
Yeah, we have. I mean, the lockdown is on Monday. We have the lockdown again. Then we will see if we're gonna sell more casks like in the beginning, or I hope we will do some online tasting again. At the moment, we don't do online tasting because we had the ability to do real life tasting, and we did that. It was strange to interact with real people again, and after 6 months of no tasting at all, and you're standing in front of a crowd of tasting, and
that's right.
you have to do real life tasting, you're just standing there like, okay, it's weird. But after some minutes you get in, and so we will see if I think we will do online tasting back again.
Yeah. We've seen the same thing in the UK. Is that not right, Matt? We've sort of started selling casks, and we're back doing online shows.
Yeah, true. That's right. I mean, like we started seeing a lot of cask sales come through that, and a lot of sales in general, Shane. I mean, like it really did. I mean, from the tasting packs that we hand out with the core tastings that we did, it moved on to seasonal tastings, moments tastings, and it grew up from there. And it did. I mean, I suppose with a lot of people just being at home, not being able to do anything, they start exploring the internet and just trying to find alternative ways to keep busy during COVID times. So I think we're right on point with having the online shows, and I think Germany can, as Felix said, it did start showing some positivity with sales at the back end of it.
Yeah.
Correct. But yet, Astrid, you work in a very different world. You work in Sweden, where alcohol sales are controlled. Tell us a bit more about it. How do you sell in Sweden?
Yeah, how do we do? You can't sell alcohol in shops, regular shops. You have to buy it in Systembolaget. That's only open Monday until Saturday, so always closed on Sunday.
And
you
this is
can't.
government.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't taste anything in the stores, and we cannot be there. Like, come and taste Mackmyra, or come and buy Mackmyra. We cannot do anything like that. So what we do is that we have tastings at the restaurants with alcohol permission. So when you come at a tasting, you can try our whiskies, and if you like them, you can buy a cask, or you can go to the Systembolaget and buy a bottle or two.
And now the Systembolaget is owned by the government, so they have these stores, and they have tenders, and you apply and you get a tender and you supply them with whiskey. But you can also go into Systembolaget and say, I'd like a bottle of Bain's whiskey, and they'll order it for you, and you collect it at the store.
Exactly. So for example, now when we had the new whiskey Jaktlycka, we couldn't get it on. Then we had to say to the customers at our tastings that if you want the Jaktlycka, you have to go to Systembolaget, order it, and then it takes 2 weeks until you get it.
So they order it now.
Yeah, exactly. So now we have it on, I think, 100 Systembolaget, because a lot of people have ordered it.
How many stores do they have?
I'm sorry?
How many stores does Systembolaget have?
Oh, actually, I don't know, but we have a lot of Systembolaget.
So if you put one product in there, you can sell a whole year's worth of stock just to one customer, because it is the only customer you sell to.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
It's because Systembolaget is so big.
Yeah.
If you sell like Jaktlycka to them, it's a big sale. It's a lot of stock because they're such a big customer.
Yeah.
And then your focus, do you sell casks? Because casks are really big in Sweden, or do you sell to bottles, to restaurants and hotels and casks?
I mostly sell cask. So I have tastings with only cask products. So at the end of the tasting, people are like, "Oh, can I buy this at the Systembolaget?" No, you have to buy a whole cask if you like it.
One way of doing it.
Can I buy one in a cask?
It's good technique. It's a great technique.
So How do you find these people? Are they just people that contact Mackmyra, or do you have to find them? Do you have to go to the hunting clubs and the sailing clubs and find these people, or do they come to you?
All of it. I do all types of tastings. So we have, for example, like we do restaurants at golf clubs. We are having some whiskey tastings, and at local restaurants. At Mackmyra we have tastings. We have tastings all around Sweden at restaurants. And people are not like, okay, I'm coming for a tasting to buy. You're coming for a tasting to just try like Mackmyra whiskey, and then at the end you buy a cask because you like it.
Okay, it's a good audience. You said something earlier. You said you're not allowed to advertise or sell to people because it's illegal, isn't it? You're not allowed to advertise to drink whiskey.
Yeah, exactly.
And in fact, we're in a court case. Am I not right in saying that? We're involved in a court case at the moment about it.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, because we displayed certain pictures on our social media. There we are. The Freedom Pack.
Correct.
And Astrid, what happened here? Have we got it?
Ooh.
I think Astrid's
I
gone.
think
Oh, she's back.
She's back. She's back.
Astrid, can you hear us?
Hi. Yeah, now I can hear you. You disappeared.
So the Freedom Pack was launched to help pay for the court case, for us to fight the case, to allow us to do advertising, really?
Yeah, exactly. So we had posted some photos at Facebook that the government didn't like.
And the government is Systembolaget.
Yeah.
Amazing. And Astrid, you're
so
based
they were
in
too
Stockholm.
happy.
They weren't happy.
Yeah.
There's a bad delay. So the government wasn't happy with the pictures we did. So
yeah,
they put a court case against us. Uh-oh.
Wait, take the question one more time because I didn't hear it.
I said the reason the Freedom case came about was because we launched the pictures and the government said they were not allowed. So we were in a court case.
Yeah,
we were involved in a court case. It's so we're in Germany and the UK, we can advertise whatever we like, really, within reason, obviously. But we don't have the confines that you in Sweden do. You can sell whiskey, but you can't advertise it.
Exactly.
Bizarre. And you said you work in Stockholm and the distillery's in Gävle. So do you get much time to go up to Gävle?
Not as much as I want to, but a few days a month I'm there.
Connor's got a picture of it somewhere, I'm sure. But of the Gävle distillery. That's Brooks.
That's our first distillery. That's where it all began. As I'm sure everyone knows by now in the UK who's watched us.
Yeah, and that's the Gävle. That is quite something to see, isn't it? Astrid, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. So if anyone ever gets the chance to go, Felix, if you get the chance to go, you must go. There's a restaurant there. There's a little shop there. You can do a tasting. You can go to the warehouse. There's a lot to do there. It really is lovely to go and see.
My plan for next year.
Yeah. And what you should do is let Patrick know and try and organize to spend some time with Angela as well, because then you get to find the funny stuff, the really interesting costs,
I know.
as I call them.
I'll just write Angela direct.
Yeah, exactly. Astrid, before we lose you again, tell us about the whiskey you brought along tonight.
Yeah, it's Fjällmark.
Yeah, Mark.
Cloudberry finish.
I love it.
So
I love
good.
it too.
I do like the lineup we've chosen though. They're all like kind of winter drams, so perfect for this time of year, I must admit. Really, really good.
Yeah.
I like the way you all thought. It's like, and the black shirts. It's all good synergy. All good synergy.
It was all planned, Matt. Astrid, what is cloudberry?
Cloudberry is a berry, a little orange berry that's sweet and sour, I would say. So it's a Swedish berry.
That you find in the forest growing?
Yeah, exactly, in the north. So it's a Swedish berry, which makes this like a Swedish cask.
It's different. It's unique. There's not many people in the world who make whiskey from cloudberry cask. That's for sure. And
I don't think I've ever had a cloudberry in my life before. So this is like kind of my first experience ever towards a cloudberry taste. So yeah, I mean,
cool.
maybe one day when I'm up at up north in Yevla, I'll hopefully grab some, or maybe find some cloudberries. But I was do you know Emil Moran? Astrid?
I'm sorry.
Emil? Do you know Emil?
No.
Emil, yeah, guy who does the cocktails for us. He was on the UK show, the Swedish barman.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling me about the Swedish people actually having like their own kind of secret patch of like cloudberries, or they go hunt for berries, so that each one's got their own kind of secret patch. So every family's got their own little secret place. So I'm quite intrigued about just trying to find out more about that. But I'll have a chat to you another time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
This is beautiful. So guys, Felix has to leave us in a little while, so I'm going to rush through a couple of questions. If I can just get some ideas.
Oh, good.
Where do you see the whiskey world going, guys? Do you think there's a place for single malts in the world? Do you think blended whiskey obviously is a massive market? They own the market. But do you think single malts getting stronger in your countries?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it seems to be.
I mean, the single malt whiskey is getting bigger, and also the I would say in Germany it's also more the single cask whiskey is getting bigger and bigger, and the blendeds are getting a bit smaller. So main focus in Germany is single malt and single cask for now, I would say.
Okay. And Sweden,
I think the same. Yeah. We are very big in the cask industry for this, for the little casks.
Yeah.
So it's getting bigger.
we find in particularly, and I've seen it in Wales, where Penderyn is a locally made whiskey, and people are very proud, and they sort of hold on to their heritage and very protective of it. And in Wales, they really haven't warmed to Mackmyra yet, because it's an outside whiskey and it's not made in Wales like Penderyn is. Do you find in your country that people or customers align themselves to a particular brand, and you're finding it hard to break the door to get Mackmyra in them?
Yep.
Yeah. I do find it hard, especially in the UK, being UK based. You've got all the Scottish distilleries are well known globally, Irish distilleries, as well as some really good English and Welsh distilleries, as Shane said. So there's a lot of competition here in the UK. But yeah, as I said earlier on, once we get our whiskey in front of somebody who's an avid Scotch drinker, their mindset changes, and they do start looking outside to more single malts and world single malt whiskies, global ones. So it is quite interesting time. So, but I do see it growing for us in the UK market. Like hopefully to the standards where you guys are selling cask, but we're getting there slowly but surely. You're starting to turn people to a single cask market in the UK. So we're getting there. We'll get there.
And in Germany, Felix?
Yeah, definitely. It's hard for us because a lot of people just so focused on Scotch whiskey.
Yeah.
They walk by our stand and they're like, yeah, it looks interesting, and you just say, yeah, I want to try it. Nah, it's not Scottish. I don't want to try it. And some on later they just step by, or the next fair, next year they came by and say, okay, I now want to try it. I read a lot of stuff in the internet and blogs and that stuff, and they're all saying Mcmirror is great. You have to try it. And they do it, and they're like, oh my god, they were right. So to break that boundary, it's pretty tough in Germany.
Yeah. And Astrid, in Sweden, do you have any competition apart from the local distilleries? I mean, is there loyalty to a distillery in Sweden?
Yeah, it is. But we also have like the problem with Scottish whiskey that people love Scottish, so they don't want to try it. But when they try it, they really love it. The Mackmyra whiskey.
Yeah. So who's your biggest So you'd say your biggest competition is Scotland in outside of Sweden is Scotland, and as well in Germany is the Scottish whiskey. Yeah. What do you guys?
Yeah.
Some German distilleries, but they're not so that of the competition, I would say. Yeah. It's a different market for even the German whiskey. It's a whole different market.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. And what do you think Mcmirror has done well, guys? What is Mcmirror? What sets us apart from the rest of the New World whiskies, from the likes of Paul John, Stalwart, all the New World whiskies? And then what have we done well that sort of makes us different from Scotch? Go, Felix.
Innovative cost.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say innovation as well. Exactly, innovation.
We have so innovative cars and Angela with her amazing nose, who creates every time a better and getting better whiskey. And so I can't wait to the spring to see the new whiskey what we will release. So I mean, it's just always getting blown away from them. So it's innovative cast finish, definitely.
And you, Astrid, what do you think we do correctly?
I think the same, actually.
And it's uniqueness of the seasonals that really grab the market. That really turned it. Yeah, we found that in the UK as well. It's the same thing. What do you think?
Also, the uniqueness of like what we did with the Grunte in Germany. There are so many posts about the Grunte before we released it that they're just spreading. Oh my God, Mcmirror did something with green tea casks, and everybody was like, "How could they? It won't taste good. What did they?" And so on. And afterwards, they tried and like, "Oh my God, they did everything right." So
yeah.
Same kind of reception here in the UK. I mean, when we launched it online and had Angela on the show, people were just lapping it up and just really enjoying it. I think it was one of the better drams we brought out for a spring kind of release.
Yeah.
And just something different, as you said.
Yeah, really.
It's crazy. Where do you see the opportunities for us in the next 2 to 3 years? Anyone?
What, each region? Like per region? Or just in general?
In general as well, Matt. Do you think it's cask is the future because it's 30-liter casks? Do you think it's
No, my personal opinion, I think with the way things are going with the COVID pandemic and not letting up anytime soon, I think we'll be mainly all focusing doing more online driven kind of things. I don't know about Sweden though, because you guys can still interact, but for Europe and the rest of the world, an online experience is kind of growing in leaps and bounds for us. So that might become a fundamental part of our business going forward in the UK and doing more online kind of stuff.
Astrid?
Yeah, we are not in lockdown, so but I actually think that we're gonna do more cask selling. I think it's the cask sales that we are good at in Sweden. Yeah, so
Germany. Felix?
I would say we also have more online tasting again during the lockdown stuff. We also might see a bit of change of the whiskey world in ways of the fairs. In Germany, we have big fairs. One of the biggest is Nuremberg. So I think we will see a change there, that it's getting restricted, or I don't know. So more internet will come, and so yeah, that's
like virtual festivals, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would say so, that you have a virtual festival, or just in smaller festivals and more of them.
Yeah.
Just smaller and more, or a longer time period of festivals. So yeah, we'll see how it's developed.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, depending on how long COVID sticks around. And what we found in the UK is we've created this monster with online, and we can't turn it off, Felix and Astrid. We have to keep it going, because it's such a big part of what we do now, and it's been such a good sales point for us. So I agree with you, 100%. I agree with you. And off the back of it, we're selling more cars, which is great.
True. So before we leave, Fang, here's a question for you. What is your favorite Mcmirror whiskey?
Oh, Matt, there's been so many, but the one that always stands out for me is Prestige. I'm a bit of a snob, and I love wine, and I love
snob.
and I like.
Nothing wrong with that.
For me, it always, when I first tasted it, I just thought it was God from it, sort of nectar from the gods. It was that good. But before we go, one more story. I've got one more story. Astrid, tell us about the Yevla goat. What is this goat that everybody talks about?
Yeah, it's a Christmas goat in Gävle.
And it's massive.
So,
it's huge.
Yeah, it's really huge. And people are burning it down. They shouldn't, but they do. And a few years ago, it was a British person who did it, because he thought it was a competition, like who burned it down first.
The British again.
Guys, hands down the goats.
Yeah,
It's crazy. And they only make it for Christmas, don't they?
Yeah, only for Christmas.
Oh, I hope you didn't burn it before Christmas. That would have been tragic. Oh my God.
Guys, we have to say goodbye, because Felix has got to run in 5 minutes. And I'm sorry, everybody, we didn't get to answer any of your questions tonight. And there were so many, and it was lovely to see them all coming through. I'm sorry, but maybe we can get Felix and Astrid back, because I think there's a lot of stuff happening, and it's so nice to have people come on the show and chat to us. And perhaps, as Gareth said, maybe one day we can all meet and share our passion for whiskies, and we create an ambassador summit. Maybe we should put Gareth in charge of it, and we'll put it together, and we can all meet and share our experiences and what we've learned over the years, and maybe we can grow as a company. But I just feel very privileged to have people like Felix, Matt, and Astrid and the rest of the team that I've met, to work with them. And it's a great privilege and honor to be part of this growing thing that's happening in world whiskey. And thank you for that. And thank you for your time, both of you. And all I can say is skull. Gentlemen, ladies, thank you very much. Skull.